The feet, we're gonna address the feet and the ankles. So just bring your hands to your hips. You'll keep your spine nice and tall. And we're gonna go ahead and come up onto the balls of the feet, just rocking in this extension and flexion. A few of these. And pretty easy, you guys, just standing calf raises. Just minding your upper body too, keeping the core tight. And then let's go ahead now and we're just gonna roll on the ball of the foot. So if you've ever taken any dance classes, they often start out with a lot of foot and ankle, calf stretches. So I'm just rolling on the ball of my foot. Both sides there, you guys, both directions, just really sensitizing the feet. Oh yeah, and obviously barefoot, which maybe I recommend that for today's class. It'll be easier for balance stuff. All right, now what you're gonna do is you're gonna curl your toes and just curl and roll them under. This is a little bit more challenging if you're super flat-footed, so don't force it. So we're just doing curling the toes under, stretching the top of the foot. Let's go ahead and switch sides, not too many of those. Just get into this space today of mobility work and core work, stretching, balance, all that. So a little bit more therapeutic session today, if you will. And then now let's work a little bit further up the chain. So soft knees here, hands to the hips, and let's circle the hips. So circling clockwise, this is all from your hips. And slow it down to shift the other way. And we're just taking care of our bodies today, you guys. And then back to center. So now feet about hip width apart, toes forward. Let's address our hip hinge. So getting into that flexion of the spine, nice flat back. Now reach your arms over the head. And knees are soft here, guys. You're gonna come on up, pull. And for those of you that are my clients that are here, you know this one pretty well. Just reaching the fingertips forward, chest is extending forward, hips back. And I'm getting a stretch in my feet too. So I kind of like when I'm moving or exercising, I don't forget parts. I'm really focusing on all the parts of my body. Okay, now we're gonna add on to that. So what I want you guys to do is reach to one side, pull it in, reach to the other side. So it's not straight out, you're going to the right, back to the center, to the left, but you're still hinging. Abs in, and I'll just add one more here, you guys. Okay, now adding on to that again, we're gonna go arms out, sweep from side to side, keeping those arms straight out. I'm really gripping my feet to the earth. Knees are soft. And one more here, sweeping to that side. So let's go ahead, just fingertips lightly touching behind the head. They're not interlaced. So what I want you to do is really squeeze the shoulder blades down and together. And then you're gonna touch those elbows together, then lift. It's like a standing cat-cow. So here, tuck the seat, tuck the chin, and then lift, arch a little bit. Okay, then tuck seat, tuck chin, elbows touch, inhale to lift. Again, really feeling my feet, and inhale, open up, tuck and extend, tuck and extend. One more here, and lift. Okay, so if you're on the mat, you can come off the mat. We're gonna stand wide, toes forward. And let's go ahead and reach over to one side while we cross the other arm in front. So opening up this whole side body. Really, really now get those feet to root to the earth. So pinky edge of the foot's really, really digging into the earth. So I get that nice side of the ankle stretch and all the way up the lower leg. So really reaching one arm across the body, one arm up overhead. So lots of deep stretching through the side body. And so so if you do have any muscle stuff or joint, whatever, just take the class at your own pace. You don't have to go as deep on some of the stretches. Just listen to your body, okay? All right, so keeping those feet wide. Now let's go into a little bit mellower side lunge, side to side. Mellower because I'm not going deep and I'm keeping my hands on the thigh. And so again, like, you know, if you do have any inner thigh stuff going on, just keep your range of motion a little less. And just easy side to side here, you guys. And hips are going back. So you always want those hips to be leading in any kind of squat fashion, okay? So hips, then the knee, all right? Okay, now let's add on to it. So bring those arms up and get the chest open, especially if you're sitting at a desk all day. You can still keep the lunges or the side squats pretty conservative. That's fine. So big stretch, arms up overhead. And let's go for one more to each side, you guys. Okay, good. Now let's heel to toe it back in, but we're only gonna go in about as wide as the mat. So extending arms out into our plie, goddess squat, sumo squat, whatever you wanna call it. Let's draw the hands in, really lifting up through the outer leg, and then arms out, plie, goddess, sumo squat, whatever you want to call it, and then hands to the center, lifting up and out through the feet, arms out. So really getting that breath work going, you guys. Inhale and exhale. And last one there. Okay, hands are gonna stay where they are. Let's shimmy the feet back in. And at the front edge of the mat here, let's bring the toes completely together, bend the knees, sweep the arms up, reach up and back. So we've got a little bit of that extension going. Let's hinge at the hips. So we already did that warm up earlier. Bow, inhale, half lift. And let's step the right foot all the way to the back of the mat. And so we got a nice vertical shin here. My right fingertips are staying on the ground as I spin open for a runner's lunge, and we're adding a twist here. Stay here, sweep that left arm up and over to loosen up through the shoulder and chest. Okay, now find both fingertips on the earth and straighten out the front leg. So don't have to go fully straight on this, and it's hard for that hamstring to really loosen up if it's tight. So if reaching to the ground is too much, just come up, okay? And then add that lovely hamstring stretch. And spine is long. Let's bend the front knee to come out. Leap forward, toes together, reverse out. Reach up and back. And swan dive forward. Second side, big step back. Vertical shin, knees at 90 degrees. Left fingertips down, take a twist towards the knee. Just keep those shoulder blades working down and back too. The leg that's behind me, so the leg extended, is really contracted, Okay, so leg is straight. Runner's lunge with a twist, and circle that arm. Get some good shoulder range of motion and the fluid in that shoulder joint. Good, fingertips to either side of the front foot, straighten out the front leg, or keep it a little soft if the hamstring is really tight, and you can always bring yourself up if that is too deep for you. Having blocks is handy too, because you can just have the block right here. All right, woo, that's a big stretch. Lean forward, bring the feet together, and then reverse dive out with a nice straight spine. Okay, let's take left knee up, left all the way up to the shoulder if you can, or just like get that knee to the chest. So standing low back stretch, and this is more dynamic. We do this in some of the warm-ups for the boot camp class. So a really good way to get a warm-up in and get a back stretch. So just that nice low back. And last one here, low back stretch. And now let's come back to our hip hinge. So feet between hip width and shoulder width, and hinge here, you guys. You're gonna stay here. Hips are shifting back. Bring your arms all the way to the front, over the head, and then you're gonna sweep them to a T and then to a cobra, and then just back. Core in, you guys. Think of this as also a crunchless abdominal exercise. I have to keep my abs tight because I don't want my back to do most of the work. So I want my back muscles to do the work, but not my low back. So knees are soft as I sweep my arms from cobra to T to way up overhead. So I'm working into those upper back muscles. And it's really hard in this position because I have a lot more weight, a lot more gravity on my arms and shoulders. And reach up, and then let's do one more. Keep those core muscles tight. Okay, now with the arms up, hinge back up to straight and then push the hips forward. So without collapsing in your lumbar, okay? All right, now let's take those hands behind the head again. Feet about hip width, shoulder width, toes slightly turned out. And let's add some squats with a twist. So all these exercises, you can intermix them as a stretch too. So this can be a stretch. This can also be an exercise. So they're interchangeable. That's the word I'm looking for. Interchangeable. Because a lot of times if the hips are tight, this could feel like a stretch for a lot of people. And getting in that twist, because if we're here and we're just in that one dimensional position all day, the spine loves moving in all directions. All right, one more here for the squats with a twist. Awesome job, you guys. Go ahead, take the left foot forward, right foot back in a warrior two position. So big step, 3 to 4 feet, if not more. Let's bend into that front knee and open the arms out to a T. So really long through the sides of the waist. You want to avoid collapsing in the sternum, all right? Lift up, roll the shoulders back, and then let's go ahead and take that front knee, straighten and bend it. And then straighten and bend it. So we're coming in and out of our warrior. Very dynamic. And keeping that back leg strong, contracted. Inhale and exhale. Let's do one more just like this, you guys. Dynamic warrior two. Now hold here. Let's take a nice side reach. Simple side angle because we're resting the forearm above the knee. And now roll open. So we're keeping it conservative today. And really breathing, focusing on the breath. And now arms out. Now that quad's been working. Okay, so let's straighten it again. Reach the hand forward and then place it on the shin or ankle for triangle. It's one of my favorite poses. Take a breath here. Feet are active, you guys. Grip the earth with the feet. Legs are active. Now push out. Bend the front knee and then straighten it. Okay, so you can get a little workout in with dynamic yoga. Okay, now let's go ahead, take the hands to the hips, keep those shoulders back, and we're gonna heel to toe that back foot in, step forward. Okay, second side, big step back, move the mat so my back isn't facing you. Second side, warrior two, bend the front knee. You wanna line up the heel of the front foot with the arch of the back foot, arms out in a T. So make sure you're not collapsing. You wanna really lift up, be nice and tall. Straighten the front knee, bend it. So in and out here. Keep those arms out because you wanna work the arms against gravity, okay? So straightening and bending, just dynamic motion here, in and out of warrior. Keep those arms up. Don't let the back arm drop either. You want to keep it up. Keep that knee over the second and third toe. All right. Now stay here. Take a nice side bend for simple side angle. So notice I just was like being lazy here. You want to lift up out through the side of the waist so I'm not collapsed into my shoulder, and just roll open. And we're gonna come on out, straighten out the front leg. Reach the hand forward first before you take it down so you can create length in both sides of the waist. So lifting up and back, almost as if I had two planes of glass, one in front, one in back of me. And leaning back a little bit. So keeping that groin happy, squeeze the leg muscles. Squeeze those muscles, push out. Make sure your feet are active and then bend and straighten. So we're taking that warrior to a little bit more dynamic place in our body. All right, hands to the hips here. We're gonna heel to toe the back foot in and step forward. All right, you guys, awesome job. Let's pick up the right foot, balancing on the left. So anytime you balance on one leg, you have to work strongly through the center of your gravity. So really tighten up here, brace, and then your ankle. So what we're gonna do is dynamic warrior three, extending the leg all the way back. I'll show you from the side view. So extending, really pressing through the back heel, trying as best you can to square off the hips. So my hands are on my hips. I really have to focus my energy to my center, my core. And then just get all those muscles firing. You know, something so easy, like something like squats or just any exercise that seems like it's easy, you can make it challenging. So sometimes my slow and controlled exercises are a lot harder because I'm not working my body that way as often. So you can challenge yourself just taking one simple exercise and changing the pace or adding load. Okay, switch sides, you guys. Balance on the other side. Pull your core in. Extend the leg back. So really pushing through, like if there was, you know, pushing that door behind me, right? So if you got a wall behind you, you just want to like really press through the heel. So really squeeze here. One side is easier than the other. And keeping those hands just braced at your hips. So anchor your hands to your hips. Really helps also with balance. And you are getting a lot of foot and ankle action here. Eventually you'll feel your butt because you're balancing. All right, woo. So, awesome job with that. We're gonna come on down to the ground now. So inhale, stretch those fingertips up to the stars, and let's exhale all the way down. And walk my hands forward so then I can walk my feet back, getting into a down dog. So just pedaling my feet here. Inhale to a high plank. Push the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. And then roll back to high plank. So in the high plank, you want to make sure in your high plank you're not letting your hips or your head sag. My hands are even gripping, my feet are gripping the earth. So we're just pushing the hips all the way up to the sky and rocking it to a very strong, sturdy plank. Keep that breath going, you guys. And be really diligent about when you come to that plank, you're not getting lazy and sagging your hips, because you'll feel it. Last one here, hips up and back. Now from the plank position, take a big step forward to the outside of the front hand with a runner's lunge again, but this is gonna be a little bit different. So we're gonna take the back knee down. So the back knee, we're in like a low lunge. Open that foot out to the side a little bit. And deepen through your lean. So I'm just gonna lean a little bit more forward just to where I can feel this hip flexor open up. Now this might be as stretchy as you need to go. That's fine, stay here. Or you can come down to the forearms, which is definitely opening my hips up and my sacrum, my glute, but just stay up here if this is enough. All right, so shift your hips back, take the foot, walk it in, slide the heel forward, stretch the toes up to the shin so we have a half split. So half splits, not the full splits unless you feel like it, or you'd be straightening out the back leg. And I'm really just trying to get my spine as straight as possible. So nice long spine here versus this. Do the best you can. Again, you might need to lift the earth up from you. Okay, so nice half split. So let's go ahead and slide that foot back to meet the other. And let's come into a down dog to reset. And then let's add a few more of those planks since I said we were gonna do some core too. All right, rocking it forward and back before we switch sides. It's good, you wanna get the heart rate up a little bit today, you know? Get a little bit of a sweat on. It's good for detoxification and good for those joints. Gotta get the blood flowing. All right, last one here. Big step forward, foot to the outside of the front hand there, and then we're gonna lower the back knee down. Take the front foot, just turn it out on an angle. It's just a couple of degrees, and you can stay here if this is deep enough. Basically, I'm just letting my hips move forward and down to where I can feel the psoas open up a little bit more. It's really hard to get that muscle in a static stretch. So it's actually just more hip flexor and quad. So if you came down on the other side, come down to the forearms. It is definitely deeper, you guys. So deep breathing. Try to relax where you're tensing up, like if it's the shoulders or the facial muscles, just relax. And then bring yourself up. If you were down, we're gonna shift the hips back, walk the foot in so it's in line with the hip crease, slide the heel forward, and then toes. You wanna flex those toes so you're getting the calf. And just take a couple breaths here. So I'm on my fingertips as a way to use my arms as like a kickstand. So we're keeping tense arms. My back muscles are engaged. All right. Biggest thing with really any stretches is just positioning and what your spine looks like and how it's reacting to the stretches. Okay, we're gonna stay down here for a little bit. Come on down to your forearms. Gonna add some glute work here, so we're gonna do some donkey kicks. And good old-fashioned calisthenic donkey kicks. Kicking the heel up to the sky. So again, keep your foot flexed, you guys, and squeeze through your glute and your hamstring. High reps on these. Keep squeezing out the glute and where the hamstring and glute meet. Give me 5 more pulses for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now just sit back, seat to the feet, get a little child's pose stretch in here. Inhale back up, coming down to all fours again, forearms, and then extending through the opposite hip. So donkey kicks, the knee is bent, the foot is flexed, like you're trying to just kick the ceiling away from you. And my hip wants to go out a lot. All right, so we're just glute squeeze, glute, 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 squeeze out the hamstring and the glute. Keeping your abs also engaged. So these are easy to do, you guys. You don't need any equipment, and just keep pulsing and you'll feel it. And let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, and then for 1, back into that child's pose. All right, and then we're gonna come on up. I'm gonna turn my mat for the next one and start in a full kneeling position for the next one. Is gonna work our side. We're gonna work our side abs. Lean down into the right side. So kicking the opposite leg out. We're gonna bring left arm up and then crunch it in, crunch side abs, knee, elbow, elbow, knee, and then extend all the way. Crunch it in and then extend. Inhale to lengthen, exhale, crunch. You're gonna feel this a lot in your glute and your hip. Get a little bit of those obliques going there. Reach, last one. Good, woo, and then tip yourself up. Now stay here and we're gonna go all the way over to the other side before we switch sides. Awesome, you guys. Back to full kneeling, second side. So I'm extending through that right leg, left hand comes down. Make sure you're stacked, bone over bone, okay? Hand under the shoulder, lift the leg, lift the arm up overhead, pull knee to elbow, elbow to knee, and then extend. Lots of reps with these. But great work for the glutes and also hip abduction. So the hip is getting a lot of circulation and it's working my glutes. Pull it in, extend out, pull it in, extend out. Give me a couple more, and last one. Woo. And then push yourself out, tip all the way to the other side. This is gate pose in yoga. Awesome, and then bring yourself back to that kneeling position. Okay, now, from kneeling, half kneeling. If you need to double up on your mat, go ahead. Half kneeling, what we're gonna do is a tri-planar low lunge. We're starting out with the front knee at about 12 o'clock and we're just rocking forward and back. Now some people find it hard to balance in this pose, so you have to, again, just keep braced here and also access your glutes, okay? Hands are staying on the hips. We're just going forward and back. Opening up, hip flexor, and then last one there. Now just walk the front foot over a little bit, and now if you're on the left side, it's gonna be about 10 o'clock. So now it's on an angle. So what I'm doing here is I'm still keeping my hips square, my shoulders square. You're just getting a little bit more groin and a little bit more inner thigh. So keeping the shoulders back, always paying attention to what my other half is doing. If I'm focusing on one half of my body, I've got full body awareness and body connection. All right, that's it there for the 10 o'clock. Now you're gonna walk the foot out even more. So it's about 9 o'clock. So we have a lot more groin, and the foot is turned out, the knee is turned out. This time though, we're gonna move in this direction, okay? So hips are square, shoulders are square, but we're just lunging. Can really feel it in that adductor. Such a good stretch, I love this. So if you guys are tennis players or golfers, these are good. Good for those sports. And, or just runners, you walk a lot, these are great for after you run and walk or hike. All right, shimmy that foot back in. Let's go ahead and switch sides. So from full kneeling to half kneeling. Pretty easy, you guys. We're just gently rocking forward and back. So these are great if you are like really active in those sports that I just mentioned. Do this. Do these tri-plantar lunges. Keep those hips and that low back healthy. And one more as we are rocking forward at 12 o'clock. And then we're just opening up about 45 degrees now. A little bit more support for my knee there. And we are still moving forward, but we just have a little bit more of a 45-degree angle on that front knee and foot, which you can't see. Yeah, so the foot and knee are turned out a little bit. So it's more 1 o'clock on the clock. All right, now we're opening up even more. So really walk that foot over. So the knee and the toes are all pointing in the same direction. And I am going to be moving this direction. So not forward. You're moving to that side. I gotta say, this is probably one of my favorite stretches. Everything we're doing is dynamic, and for mobility, you can always do these at home and hold it. That's fine too if you just want to hold the stretch. But we're making this more mobile today to keep the heart rate going. And last one there. So tri-plantar lunges, really, really good. Okay, so from here, let's add a little bit of a leg workout from our low lunge, or half kneeling. You're gonna keep the hands on the hips, you're gonna squeeze the legs, the glutes, and come all the way up. And then let's lower all the way down, and then squeeze. So keeping the ball of the foot on the ground. When you come down, when you bring the knee down, you can come all the way down, just don't collapse onto the knee. Don't collapse your body, like resist the ground, resist gravity. And so this is just another way to do your lunges. Keeping pretty conservative in the upper body posture, not adding too much to the upper body, but just keep a tall spine, you guys. All right, that was it for that side. Back to full kneeling. Switch sides for these reverse lunges. So contract first, like brace, 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 squeeze. Everything straightens out. Extension and flexion. Extension. So really good if you do have weak knees or something's going on with the knees, just start low and up to high, because you're decreasing that compression on the knees by doing so. So less gravity pulling you down and having the muscles contract really right from the start. So you're just getting that full contraction of quad, glute. And whew, I'm feeling it, you guys. Up, back, quad there, and last one. Okay, so from standing, let's go ahead and scoot that mat out of the way. Woo, all right. So let's get some heel kicks in after that leg exercise. Just that active recovery. We're gonna add the arms in here by adding some punches. So good upper lower body connection. Left and right sides working together. That's why I add like the boxing in to some of the shadow boxing into the boot camp classes, because it's good for the brain. All right, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, let's get in some standing side abs. We've been doing these a lot with in my class. Hands behind the head, pull knee to elbow, elbow to knee, same side. Same side. Now make sure you're actually flexing at the spine and you're not just pulling the knee up to the elbow. It's too much hip flexor, and you're still getting a lot of hip flexor right now. So you want to make sure you're in this extension and then flexion of the waist. So make sure you're bending at the side. Okay, 2 more here. All right, and then let's work to the second side, hands behind the head. Fingertips are not interlaced, just fingertips touching, knee to elbow, elbow to knee, but get that flexion, side crunching. I'm actually bending at the waist. So if you are someone that does a bunch of planks, but for whatever reason, side planks aren't working for you, you know, say you've just got some shoulder stuff going on or whatever the case is, they're hard, do these because you're still getting the same muscle group, but you're not having to put all the weight on your shoulder. Although side planks are really good, you guys. So if you can, you know, work up to those. Last one here. In fact, we can do them together. I can help you through them because you want to work those obliques. You want to work more than just the main rectus abdominis. So you want to be able to move your spine in all directions, which let's go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and get some jabs in and pivot. So you want to get those muscles of the waist going. And since I don't have an exterior load, I have to create it. So I'm creating it by bracing, squeezing, like as if I'm bracing for impact, okay? So you don't need a whole lot of resistance if you know how to create it yourself. So basically just squeezing the muscle using isometrics, right? So arms here, isometrics, bracing, bracing abs. Now get those arms close to your body, weave under. So hug in, so you want to protect this area in boxing for body shots. Still getting that hip knee ankle rotation, you guys, right? Hip knee ankle rotation. Bracing my abs. 2 and 1. So that got the heart rate up, I'm sure. It did, right? So let's bring those arms up. Keep them up. Toes are going to come out again. And then open your arms wide and then bring them up narrow and then open wide. So overhead squats. As if you were holding a dowel up over your head. Try to get your butt down for good range of motion in the hips and the low back. Stretch fingertips up. Wide grip as you come down. Overhead squats. Just bringing the butt down as far as you can without the heels coming up. The other thing that makes this harder is we don't have the weight of the arms to counterbalance. So your job is to work the muscles of the spine along the spinal column to keep your upper body from falling forward during these. So you want to keep the spine up while your grip is overhead. And let's go one more here of the overhead squats because they're challenging. All right, good work. Keep your arms moving. We're gonna actually add, this is gonna be challenging, we're gonna add an isometric shoulder exercise. So I'm gonna time you. This is gonna be 1 full minute of circling the arms forward and back. I'll tell you when to switch. So keep going forward for about 30 seconds here, okay? Small circles. And time is another variable that you can use to create tension in the body. Just keep that body moving for a certain amount of time. And now we're gonna reverse for 30. Try to keep the arms up the whole time, you guys. Again, I'm paying attention to what my lower half is doing, keeping the knees bent, core tight, bracing, so that nothing is asleep. Nothing is asleep. All right, got a good 15 seconds here. Keep circling. And then at home, if you do have like 1 or 3 pounds, woo, this is such a good burn, you guys. All right, we're going for 3, 2, and 1. Don't put those arms down yet, okay? So what I want you guys to do is add jabs, and we're gonna keep going here for 30. Keep jabbing, jabbing to the front, and keep those core muscles tight. Notice I'm switching, I'm changing the, switching my weight onto each leg, right? So just shift, shift, add those jabs. Keep going here. And you're not gonna be done after this, keep going. Now we're gonna switch those arms again to hooks. Notice hip, knee, ankle rotation again, you guys. The hook and your jabs come from your hips and core. So try to coordinate hip, knee, ankle rotation with those hooks. All right, 5 seconds here before we switch it up to uppercuts. Now we're going down and up. So squat down, extend up. And again, if you guys have some light weights, you could do this whole sequence with weights. But I didn't stop, so we were moving the whole time. No stopping, no breaks, no rest for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Okay, come on down. Hands to the earth in that push-up position. I want you to toe tap. The toes out to the side, alternating. Remember to keep your back nice and straight on these, you guys. No sagging of the head and the hips. So just toe taps. Keep the core tight, core tight. 2 and 1. Now pike the hips up. Take a deep breath in. Long sigh out. Get that little rest in there. Come back to your plank. Take the right knee to right elbow, and then to the left, and then back. Left knee, left elbow. Rotate the hips so that the knee and the elbow touch on the opposite side. So right to right, then rotate to the left, and then the same side, opposite side. These will get you. Woo! And again, pike, pike, and back. One more time, you guys. You got this. Pike, pike. Woo! And down dog. Oh, that was good. Take it down to the knees. Stretch the hips back. And let's add another booty exercise here. Coming down to the forearms again. And fire hydrants. Keeping the knee bent. Try to externally rotate the hip out as far as you can. Make sure to use the mat on your knees if you need to. All right, so give me about 7 more of these fire hydrants. Okay, and then switch sides. We're gonna switch the fire hydrants and externally rotate. Bring that leg out as high as you can. And now that you're pretty warmed up, you might have more range of motion because you're Muscles are worn. These are hard to start with though, if you're stiff. 4 more. And last one. Woo! Feel it in the booty there. Okay, guys, let's get another core in. So let's make it a yoga core exercise. There's like one in yoga. It's boat pose. Not too many like specific core exercises, but this one's good. So you start out on your 6 bones, sitting up nice and tall. Again, it's all about that spine, you guys. Lift your heels up. So I got my heels up, toes on the ground. Extend the arms, extend the fingertips. So I'm already getting ready. Scoop out that belly, hollow out the core. Begin to pitch back until you feel your ab muscles holding you up. Okay, stay here if this is enough. Pitch back. You want to make sure you're in about 35, 45 degrees. And then if it's available to you, lift your toes up. And so I'm still in modified boat. Modified boat for 10 more seconds. Keep scooping out the lower core. Really extend long through the fingertips. Keep the chest up. All right, I'm gazing at those yogi toes because I can't wait to bring my feet together and come out of that for a butterfly. So seated butterfly and then a hinge. We're gonna do that again, you guys. So sit up nice and tall, knees together, coming out of seated butterfly. Really extend the arms, hollow out your abs. Lift those toes if you did on the first round. Now, if you guys want to take it a little bit further, you can straighten out the legs. Woo! Or stay here, that's fine too. So really good, keep scooping out. You can also keep your toes on the ground, you guys. I just gave you 3 different levels. Another 5 seconds here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the feet together without bringing them down, and then stretch those hips and back in seated butterfly. Yeehaw! All right. Okay. Hands are gonna come behind you. Fingertips facing forward, feet flat. Lift the chest. So broaden that upper chest space. Rolling the shoulders back, press into the feet and into the hands for cobbler's table. So really breathing into the belly here. The whole front of the body just gets a big stretch while I contract the glutes and the hamstrings. Okay, now lower down, transition to boat. I don't care which one you do, here, or here, fine with me, whichever one. Hands down, feet flat. Hips up as high as you can, you guys. Cobbler's table. And then lower. Boat. Such a fun transition from these 2 exercises here. Holding 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then 1 more cobbler's table. Really lift those hips up. Yes, and I look like a table. And so should you. And then lower all the way down. Awesome job. Let's take the right shin in front, left knee bent, and get in a little hip stretch here. What I'm gonna have you guys do is you're gonna be rotating from each side. So what I want you to do is bring your arms out, and you're gonna switch without using your hands for help. So now I have the left knee in front, and then the right leg and back. Arms are gonna stay out. So I'm rotating towards that right hip. Now I'm gonna rotate towards the left hip. Very, very good. If you guys, again, if you're a runner, if you're doing lots of leg exercises like I do, this is a good one. Just rotating from each hip stretch without using help from your hands, getting that core in at the same time. And last one to the other side. All right, so now let's go ahead and lie face up on your mat. And arms a few inches away from your body, palms up. Let's lift the hips up into a bridge. You're gonna extend the right leg. Keep that leg extended. You're raising the leg up and down while you're in a bridge. We're only gonna do 10 of these, you guys. So that left side's getting a lot of work, that left hamstring and glute. All right, last one there. Hips come all the way down. Both feet flat. Lift the hips up into bridge, left side up. That left leg stays extended the whole time. And you're moving from the hip on the left leg in extension and flexion while you're strengthening the right side. And just a few more, you guys, for this bridge variation. And last one. Okay. So we're gonna do one more core exercise and then a back stretch, okay? All right, so arms up, pretend you're holding a beach ball. I want you guys to get really flat in your lumbar, so just hollow out the abs again, like really squeeze, and then you're gonna lift your feet. Your legs are in tabletop, your head is on the ground, neck is relaxed, so no crunching up of the shoulders. This is called dead bug. So the goal is to maintain that flat back and try to close up that little hole where the lumbar is usually, there's a little mouse hole there if you're not working through the lower abs. And then we're gonna extend left leg and then right leg into these bicycle motion. So just really controlled though, you guys. And you have to keep those lower core muscles engaged. This is a super unassuming exercise. If you don't feel it, something's wrong. Or maybe you just have super strong abs. Okay, 2 more. Notice when I come back, I'm keeping my knees above the hip creases. I'm not bringing them in because then I lose that core isometric, okay? All right, bring your feet down. Go ahead and just cross the right ankle above the left knee and then let the leg spill to the left. So it's a little bit more of like a pretzel stretch. Arms out to the side. You're gonna feel glute stretch, outer thigh stretch, and then your low back. Deep breaths there, you guys. Now I'm gonna keep my ankle connected to my upper leg as I come out. So second side, cross the left ankle above the right knee, and then let the whole system just rotate down. My foot is on the ground, and then you're gonna feel this whole side opening up. So the biggest thing, you're just keeping that knee externally rotated, hip externally rotated. Deep breaths there. Keep the system connected as you bring it back up and out. Okay, and then let's take a hold of the knees and let's circle, big circles clockwise and counterclockwise. All right, and then back to the center. Let's rock and roll all the way up to seated. Yay, all right, so that